Good day, everyone. Welcome to another week of Greek study. Almost to the end of all things here, at least for this quarter. What is it, a couple more weeks, and then we have Thanksgiving vacation. And then right after vacation, just about, is dead week and then exam week. So yeah, not too long from now, we'll be on Christmas break and you'll be relaxing with nothing left from this quarter. So something to look forward to anyway. But let's see if we can finish the quarter strong and look at Chapter 8. Chapter 8 is going to be a bit lighter than previous chapters, so let's see how quickly we can get through this. Um, Chapter 8 covers prepositions, more prepositions, and these focus on prepositions with two or three cases. If you remember, in Chapter 5, we looked at the prepositions, four prepositions. What were they? Appa and ek, which both took the genitive case, en, which takes the dative, and eis, which takes the accusative. All of those prepositions only took the one case, okay, the genitive, dative, or accusative, but all of them just had one case. So you could just memorize those as vocabulary terms, pretty much. You didn't need to memorize appa plus the genitive, because appa always takes genitive, and so appa is always going to mean something like from or away from. However, there are a number of additional prepositions. That's the title of this chapter. And these prepositions are a bit different and a bit more complex because they take multiple cases. Okay, either two, in most cases it's two, or in a couple of cases it's three. Be really careful with these. I find these, for whatever reason, to be fairly difficult to memorize. These are, they're prepositions, so they're all these short words, either 3 or 4 letters long. And yeah, the tough thing about these is that the case of the object, okay, the object of the preposition, whatever the word is that immediately follows the preposition, that word actually changes the meaning of the preposition. Okay, and so look at an example here, the word meta. Okay, this is a preposition. And unlike appa or en, you can't just memorize meta by itself as a vocabulary term. Meta by itself actually does not mean anything. Okay, meta must take its object in either the genitive or the accusative case. So this is a two-case preposition. Meta plus the genitive means with, and meta plus the accusative means after. All right, and so it depends on what immediately follows. So if you see the word meta, don't just write down either with or after. Okay, you have to look, you have to get the case of the object first, and then you can decide which meaning goes with meta. Okay, if the object is genitive, then it's with. If the object is accusative, then it is after. So let's look at a few of these. These are in your book. I'll go through them though, just because these are kind of new. I think you'll get the hang of it. The idea of it is not difficult, but going through and memorizing all of these things can be a little bit tedious. All right, so let's look at these. First one up is dia, delta, iota, alpha. And all of these two-case prepositions, they take their objects in either the genitive or the accusative. So dia plus the genitive means either through or by. All right, if you think of the word diameter, okay, the diameter of a circle is the measure of the circle through the middle of the circle. Right, and so that's where we get that's a cognate here. Dia plus the genitive is through or by, and so dia to kuriou is through or by the Lord. Okay? The world was made by the Lord, okay? And that would be dia to kuriou. With the accusative, dia changes to because of. So dia ton kurion, Now this is accusative. Now means because of the Lord. In a similar way, kata takes two cases. Kata plus the genitive, against. So kata tu kuriu, against the Lord. Kata plus the accusative is according to the Lord. Okay, kata tan kurian. As an aside, all of the Gospels, okay, the 4 Gospels in the New Testament, when you are reading them in Greek, the title of them in Greek is kata, tan, and then whatever, okay, the name of the apostle is. Okay, actually, I don't think the tan is there. They don't have the article. So it's kata Matthaion, kata Markon, kata Lukon, and kata Ioannein. Okay, according to Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. Something here, the book mentions this, but as is customary for this author, some very important information is included in fine print. Okay, so right under where it has the definitions for kata, it will tell you that this word kath hemeron, and that first word there, kath, is actually the preposition kata. We'll cover this a little bit, but what ends up happening is that when you have a word following this preposition that begins with a vowel, the short vowel alpha at the end of kata will drop out, okay, and it gets replaced by that apostrophe. But then something extra special happens here, because hemeron does not only begin with a vowel, it's a vowel with a rough breathing mark, and so instead of kappa alpha tau with the apostrophe dropping off that second alpha, okay, you have kappa alpha theta. The tau turns into a theta because of the presence of the rough breathing mark. Okay, so kata hemeron is written kath hemeron, and literally this would mean according to the day, right? Kata plus the accusative, hemeron is the accusative form of hemera, so kata plus the accusative is according to the day. But it is sort of an idiom in the New Testament. It's one of these funny things of language where the literal meaning of the words does not actually convey the actual meaning. In English, for example, when we say something drives me up a wall, if I say sometimes, my son is stubborn and he drives me up a wall, it does not mean that my son is literally like, shoving me up a wall. Okay, it means, yeah, he's, I'm at a loss as to how to, get through to him. This is an example here. Okay, this does not mean according to the day, and don't write this down if you see this. Okay, but this actually means is daily or every day. It basically turns into an adverb that means every day or daily. So keep that one in mind. That is, I don't believe that's anywhere in like the vocabulary or in like the dictionary. You just kind of have to know that. Going on, meta. Okay, the word meta plus the genitive means with. Meta tu kuriou, that's genitive, with the Lord. Meta plus the accusative is after. Okay? Meta ton kurion, after the Lord. Last 3 ones here. Peri. Okay, think about the word, well, maybe I should hold off on that one. Peri plus the genitive means about. So peri tu hadu, about the road. And then peri plus the accusative is around. Again, think of the word perimeter. Okay, the measurement around something. Okay, peri plus the accusative around. Peri ton hadon, around the road. Be careful with some of these cognates, okay, like perimeter. That one, it's very helpful for the accusative, but just remember that is only for the accusative, okay? It is not for the genitive. The genitive means something completely different. Yeah, so peri ton hadon, around the road. Next one is huper. Huper plus the genitive is for. Huper tu cosmu, for the world. Huper plus accusative, this is the one that gets the English cognate. Okay, this is the English meaning. Think of the rough breathing mark as an H, and then the upsilon, instead of a U, think of it as a Y. Okay, and so this, if you transliterate this into English, it is the English prefix hyper. Okay, hyperactive, above or greater activity, right? Hyper. So huper ton kosmon, above the world. Huper plus the accusative is above. And if that helps to think of this as hyper, go ahead and do it. Just be careful that you, again, learn the meaning for the huper plus the genitive is for, or about, or concerning. All right, last one here is hupa. Hupa plus the genitive is by. So hupa tes geis. That's the genitive of gay, and so that is by the earth. And hupa plus the accusative, once again, like huper, okay, think of the rough breathing mark as an H, the upsilon as a Y, and you end up with hypo in English. Okay, hypodermic or hypoglycemic, okay, means below or under. Okay, right. Hypodermic is a needle that goes under the skin, and so hupa plus the accusative means under. Hupa tain gain, under the earth. So if these English cognates are helpful, go ahead and use them. But yeah, just remember that those only apply to the accusatives for all of these, and you have to learn the genitives. Okay. All right, these two words are prepositions, and these ones take 3 cases, okay? All of the, what they call oblique cases, okay, so all of the cases except the nominative. Epi is nice because epi, even though epi takes genitive, dative, and accusative, with all of those, epi simply means upon. In second year Greek, we'll get into some nuances of meaning. Upon is not the only meaning for epi, but yeah, for our purposes here in this class, just think of epi in all 3 cases as meaning upon. And so I have there the genitive, dative, and accusative cases of gay, okay, the earth, and epigeis is upon the earth, epigay, dative, same thing, epigain, accusative, same thing, all upon the earth. And the last one here is para. Para plus the genitive is from, so para theou, from God. Para plus the dative is with, para theo, with God. And para plus the accusative is beside, para theon, beside God. All right, so those are the prepositions with 3 cases. Take special care with para, because that is the one that's, a bit difficult. It has all 3 cases, and they all mean something different. Epi is nice because all 3 cases mean upon. Okay. If you go back and study other older forms of Greek, there would be different meanings for epi, but by the time the New Testament, the Koine Greek of the New Testament comes along, yeah, all of those meanings have just kind of blended into one, upon. All right, there are a few more prepositions in the vocabulary, okay, but all of those additional prepositions in the vocab are 1 case. So, yeah, those should be fairly simple. They're kind of like the prepositions that you've already learned. Okay, you can just learn those as the definitions. Okay, ana is with the accusative. I think it means up. Anti is an important one. The prefix anti comes from the word anti. Anti, instead of meaning against, it actually means in place of or instead of. So antichrist in Greek actually has the meaning of instead of Christ, okay, someone or something that is used instead of or in place of Christ. And then there are a few more. Pros, I think, is in there. Soon, So yeah, learn those as vocabulary terms, but I won't specifically go over those because those are only with one case. I reference this with kath hemeron, that idiom that means daily, but with all of these prepositions, with the exception of peri and pra. There are two of those words that do not do it, but most of these prepositions will drop their final vowels if the word immediately following begins with a vowel or a diphthong. Alright, so like kata in kath hemeron, kata drops that last alpha and it goes down to kappa alpha tau. Okay, kat. And then the drop vowel, you will know that something is missing because that drop vowel is replaced by an apostrophe. As I mentioned before, all but two of them do this. Okay, peri and pra, for some reason, don't drop their ending vowels. And it gets extra confusing because there are other prepositions that end in these same letters. Okay, peri ends in an iota, and there is the preposition epi. Pra ends in an omicron, and appa also ends in an omicron. But those ones do drop their final letters. Okay, epi gets elided to ep or f, and appa gets dropped to op or off. Okay, and this process, I should have said before, is called elision. Elision just means that dropping off of the final vowel. So yeah, you'll start getting used to this. Okay, you'll start seeing this because this is fairly common. Lots of prepositions and lots of prepositions get used with words that begin with vowels. So before a word beginning with a rough breathing mark, if you drop the letter and then you're left with a tau, that tau will become a theta, as we saw in kata. Okay. Kata hemeron becomes kat hemeron, but then you have the rough breathing mark, so it becomes kath hemeron. Okay, from kata shortens to kat kappa alpha tau, and then becomes kappa alpha theta because of the presence of the rough breathing mark. If you drop the letter off and the preposition ends with the letter p, like epi, when you drop that off and it is followed by a rough breathing mark, that P will become a phi. Okay, so epihemera or hemeron would shorten to ephemeron because of the vowel, but then with the rough breathing mark it would become F-hemeron. Okay, F with the phi. There is a full chart of these in your textbook. Okay, the last page of the actual lesson, page 61, has an entire chart of all of these prepositions and what happens when the last vowel gets dropped off. Okay, it gives you a column with the smooth breathing and then a column with the rough breathing. Okay, so here are some examples of this process happening. Appa, if you're using appa with anthropou, okay, from humanity or from a human being, appa anthropou will get shortened to ap anthropou. Okay, you will not see it say appa anthropou. Okay, it will always be ap anthropou. With a rough breathing mark, that P, the omicron drops off and becomes a phi. So appa hamartias becomes af hamartias because of that rough breathing. And again, as we saw before, kata anthropon. What is that? According to humanity or according to a human being, shortens down to kat anthropon. With hamartias, you have the rough breathing mark, so kata hamartion becomes kath hamartion, according to sin. And yeah, page 61 is where you'll find those alternate forms. Last thing on in this chapter, okay, is a section on what we call compound verbs. Compound verbs are simply a combination. It's a verb that's built out of a combination of a verb stem and a preposition that is put at the beginning of this verb stem. Okay, so you've got a preposition just stuck on as a prefix. So I've put here, for example, there is the word ekbalo. Balo is, of course, the word I throw or I cast, and then ek is the preposition out of or from. Okay, and so to make a compound verb, you simply take the verb balo and you stick that preposition ek on the beginning of it. Okay. And then you have the compound verb ekbalo. I've put here, a lot of times, the definition is easy to find. The definition is simply you take the meaning of the verb and then the meaning of the preposition, and you stick them together, and you end up with the definition of this compound verb. So ek balo, balo is I throw, ek is out of or from, and so ek balo is I throw out, or I cast out. Okay. When Jesus casts out a demon, this is the word that's used to describe that action. Okay, ekbalo. However, I said many times the definition is just that easy. You take these two pieces apart and you just do one at a time. But there are some exceptions to this. I think all of the verbs in this chapter's vocabulary are compound verbs. You're given a list of about 4 compound verbs on the vocabulary in page 63. And, for some of them, they're really easy. It's just, take that verb and take the preposition. But, yeah, there are some exceptions to this. Okay, ana, for example, the preposition ana means up. And the verb ginosko means I know. So ana ginosko, really easy, right? I know up. Well, not really. Okay, I know up isn't really a thing. What ana ginosko actually means is I read. Now, why you get that from there, I don't know. Okay, I have said that possibly, and this is just me speculating, but possibility here, right? If you take a book, if you're reading a book and you've got the book down on a desk or something, and you're reading it, maybe the words are transferring from the page, they're going up into your head, okay, and now the meaning is in your head. Okay, so is that what the Greeks were thinking when they made ana ginosko mean I read? I'm not sure. Okay, but I don't know. That helps me to remember what ana ginosko means anyway, so if that helps you, you can use it. If it just ends up being confusing, then just learn ana ginosko as a vocabulary term. Okay, ana ginosko means I read. Don't try and read that as a combination of those two pieces. Okay, ginosko and ana. Okay, when you are using a past tense. Okay, so if you remember from last chapter, you have the augment, right, that gets added to most of the time the front of the verb stem. Okay, if you have a verb that begins with a consonant anyway, you just stick an augment on the front. When you do that to a compound verb, you do not actually stick the augment at the beginning of the compound verb. The augment gets put on between the preposition and the verb. So, for example, with the verb ana ginosko, you do not put the augment at the front, replace the alpha with an eta as you normally would. What you have to do is you have to split up the compound verb ana and ginosko, put the augment in front of ginosko, and then most of these things, once you put that augment on, because that augment is a vowel, the vowel of the preposition will drop out. Okay, so ana ginosko, when you go to the imperfect tense, it becomes on eginoskan. All right, the augment gets added between ana and gnosko, and then you put on your imperfect ending, omicron nu. So I was reading is on egnoskan. Have a look at the next example, ex ebalon. Okay, we're going to take ek balo, and we're going to take that apart, and it's going to become ex ebalon. Okay, put the epsilon augment in between ek and balo. And then for some reason with this one, they don't keep the kappa as just a kappa with ek. Okay, the kappa becomes a xi. And I don't exactly know why that is. I guess maybe ek ebalon is harder to say than ex ebalon. Okay, so just be aware of that one. There is a slight change on that one. The kappa in ek becomes a xi, ex ebalon. So yeah, ek balo I throw out, or I cast out. Ex ebalon I was throwing out. Imperfect. Alright, so that is compound verbs, these words that are a combination of a preposition and a verb. Let's go through some of these practice sentences. The first one has a nice compound verb right at the beginning. Okay, anagenoske ha mathetes parabalein perites basileas. Alright, first thing let's do, get all of the forms of the words. Anagenoske, you have a verb. It is present tense, third person singular. Notice that ending. Okay, it's present tense. There's no change to the stem. There is no augment in between ana and gnosko. So this is just a regular present tense verb. Ha mathetes. Ha is the definite article that goes with the noun. Both of these are masculine, singular, and nominative. Mathetes looks weird because it is a first declension masculine noun. One of these weird first declension masculine nouns. That's why the article and the ending there do not match. But in reality they do. Okay, they're both masculine, singular, nominative. Parabalein is a noun. It's a first declension noun, a feminine. This is a feminine singular accusative. The ain gives you that. Peri is a preposition that we've learned in this chapter. Peri by itself doesn't mean anything. We have to check what the object is. And so tes basileas, these two go together. The definite article and the noun. These are both feminine, singular, and genitive. Alright, so the next step is to write out a rough translation on this. And so anagenoske, third person singular, he, she, or it reads. Just went over this. Anagenosko is I read, so anagenoske is he, she, or it reads. Ha mathetes is the disciple. Parabalein, that one's easy, parable. And then perites basileas. We do know that tes basileas is genitive, and so peri plus the genitive is about. Perites basileas, then that prepositional phrase, about the kingdom. Now let's go out to write the final translation. You do have a nominative here, ha mathetes, so let's use that as a subject. The disciple, anagenoske, the disciple reads. Parabalein is the accusative. The disciple reads a parable. It does not have a definite article, so we can put the indefinite article a there. Okay, the disciple reads a parable. Perites basileas, about the kingdom. All right, any questions? You can go back and look at this, or if you still don't see how that happened, then you can contact me and ask me about number 1. But yeah, let's move on now to number 2, ek balomen. Oh, there's another one of these compound verbs. Okay, they're really giving these to you. Ek balomen ta panera ek tu oiku. Okay, what do we have here? Getting all the forms of the word. So ek balomen is our verb. There is no change to the stem. There is no augment in between ek and balo, which means this is a present tense. And the ending there, amen, is a first person plural. So ek balomen is simply the first person plural present of ek balo. Okay, ek balamen is what we have here. Ta panera. Ta panera, they go together, the definite article, and here we have an adjective, okay, from paneras. Both of them are neuter plurals, and that ending is ambiguous. Okay? It could be a nominative or accusative, because it is neuter. Okay? The nominative and accusative forms are the same. So yeah, neuter plural, nominative or accusative. We'll have to figure that one out later. Ek tu oiku. Ek always takes the genitive case, and we learn that as out of or from. So ek tu oiku, yeah, sure enough, there you have tu oiku, masculine singular genitive. All right, going on to the rough translation, ek balomen, first person plural ends up being we, and then ek balo is cast out, so ek balomen, we cast out. Ta panera, the evil. Ek tu oiku, out of the house. Okay, oiku is from oikos, the house. Ek tu oiku, out of the house. Now, ta panera, that is an article and an adjective. No corresponding noun, right? There's no neuter plural, nominative or accusative noun here, and so this then needs to be a substantive. And we're going to use that as the noun. And so you end up with, we cast the evil. It is neuter plural, so you can put things. All right, neuter plural gets things. We cast the evil things. That ends up actually being the accusative case then, because it can't be nominative. The subject is the we from the first person plural verb. We cast the evil things out of the house. Number 3, Elaban, hi agathai, agatha. That's a strange construction there, isn't it? Hi agathai, agatha. Good, good. Apa tu pistu adelphu. Okay, what on earth is going on here? Why do you have two forms of agatha, or agathos? Well, we'll need to get all of the forms of the words, and hopefully this will become a little bit clearer. Okay. Elaban, a verb, second aorist. Remember, this is from lambano. Okay, the verb I take or I receive. Because of that stem change, that makes it a second aorist. Okay, lambano becomes lab. And the ending there, if you remember from last chapter, when you have a second aorist, you're dealing with a second aorist, the ending is the same as the imperfect. And so that ending in the imperfect, elaban, elabes, elabe, or elaben, elabamen, elabete, elaban. The first singular and third plural forms are the same. So let's get both of those on there. Person could be first or third, and the number could be singular or plural. Hopefully that will become clearer as we work through this. Okay. Hi agathai. Okay. These two go together. Right? You have a definite article and an adjective. These are feminine plural nominative, both of them. So that second agatha cannot be associated with this. Okay, it is not, fortunately, it's not the good good. Something else is happening there. But hi agathai, there is no other feminine plural nominative word. So this adjective is a substantive adjective, being used like a noun. And then let's go on to the next agatha. Okay, that second agatha. This is obviously an adjective from the same word as agathai. But this one, the case gender number, this one is a neuter plural nominative or accusative. Okay, because it's neuter plural, the nominative and accusative forms are the same. there is no other neuter plural nominative slash accusative, so strangely enough, we have another substantive. You have this basically the same word, agathai, agatha, appearing one after the other, and both of these are being used as substantive adjectives. And then we're going to close this sentence with apa tu pistu adelphu, the prepositional phrase there. So apa just takes a genitive, and sure enough, tu pistu adelphu. This entire phrase here is singular, masculine singular genitive. And you have a noun adelphas, adelphu, genitive, and then pistu is an adjective. Okay, how is this adjective being used? Notice pistu is in between the article tu and the noun adelphu. When the adjective appears in between those, this then is an attributive adjective. So let's work on a rough translation. Elaban, I took or I received arist, okay, from I take or I receive. And because it's plural, okay, because the verb can be plural, hi agathai is a nominative plural, so that's going to be your subject. Okay, so this is going to be third person plural, they take, or they took, actually. Then the good, hi agathai, good again, agatha, apa tu pistu adelphu, from the faithful brother. So now, working out the final translation here. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to change that that thing there. It should be writing out the final translation. Then becomes the subject is hi agathai, the good. Okay. But because it is a substantive, let's take the feminine plural and make that the good women. Okay, because hi agathai is feminine plural, we can say the good women. That is your nominative, so that's a subject of the third person plural verb there. The good women received. Okay, that should be received. Sorry about that. Not receive. This is in fact an aorist. So let me change that here really quickly. Yeah, there we go. Now, the good women, what did they do? They received good things. How do we get good things? It is neuter plural. Agatha is neuter plural. So using that as a substantive also, neuter plural means things. So they received good things. Apa tu pistu adelphu, from the faithful brother. Okay. The good women received good things from the faithful brother. All right. This will be the last practice sentence that we do, so we're just about done here. Epon hoi huioi, ton propheton lagus kata ten aletheon. First step, let's get all of the forms of the words worked out. Epon is a verb. This is one of these really weird second aorists. Okay, this is a second aorist of the verb lego. Okay, so lego becomes apon. How that happens, I'm not sure. But yeah, profound stem change there. But yeah, we'll work with it. Okay. It is a second aorist, so therefore it takes the same endings as the imperfect. Second aorist, first singular or third plural ending, just like before with elaban. All right, moving on. Hoi huioi. Hoi huioi. Hoi is a definite article. It is masculine plural nominative, and huioi, that ending there, is also masculine plural nominative. Ton propheton, this goes together. These are both masculine plural genitives now. And then lagus is a noun. It is from the noun lagos. Lagus is a masculine plural accusative. Notice none of these things can be together. Okay, hoi huioi is one unit. Ton propheton is another one. And then lagus is separate from both of those. Kata tein aletheon is the end of the sentence. Kata is a preposition. It can be either, it can go with the genitive or the accusative. Tein aletheon is feminine singular accusative. And so this is kata plus the accusative. So now we have enough to get the rough translation. Apon is from speak. And hoi huioi, the sons are the ones who are doing the speaking. Then we have the prophets, ton propheton. Logos is words, and kata tein aletheon. Kata plus the accusative is according to. So kata tein aletheon, according to the truth. All right, that's the definition of the words. Now let's put this all together. Okay, the subject of the sentence is hoi huioi, the nominative plural, the sons. And then let's work the genitive with that too. Okay, it's nominative, the sons, genitive of the prophets. Okay, genitive ton propheton. Genitive you can put of there. The sons of the prophets is your subject. And what are they doing? They spoke, past tense there. Sons of the prophets spoke logos, accusative. Okay, they spoke words, kata tein aletheon, according to the truth. Okay, the sons of the prophets spoke words according to the truth. Okay, yeah, we have a number of elements now. So, yeah, I think one of the sentences, the last sentence of this translation exercise is fairly long, but, you know, just work with that, okay? Just split up these things up. You've got prepositional phrases, you've got genitive phrases, all these things, okay? If you need some help on that, feel free to, you know, send an email or a message to me. But yeah, we've got a number of different elements now. We're really putting sentences together, and just take them, you know, piece by piece, get all of the elements, get all of the information that you can about each word, and you'll be able to work these sentences out just fine. Okay, have a great week. There's only one quiz this time because it's pretty much just vocab in this chapter, you know, learning the definition of all of these prepositions and compound verbs. So there's just a vocab quiz for this chapter and these sentences, but I'll just make these due at the same time as always. So yeah, I'll give you until next Friday to do these. Go ahead and work through these. If you need some time to catch up, you can catch up on the previous chapters, and yeah, I'll have a little bit of, hopefully this gives you a little bit of breathing room before Thanksgiving break. And yeah, we'll keep on going here. There's only one more chapter that we need to cover. Chapter 9 is the last thing that we'll do this quarter. So we're just about to the end here. Good work this quarter, and keep it up, you know, until the end here. We'll finish well, and yeah, again, contact me if you have any questions. If you are studying Greek during Thanksgiving break, haha, I always say that, and it's always kind of a joke because nobody ever does. But, you know, if you're looking at this even over Thanksgiving break and you need some help, go ahead and send me a message and I will get back to you. Okay, yeah, have a good rest of your week, and yeah, good rest of the quarter. Okay, blessings on all that you have to do. All right, bye.